Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and tonight, to whenever you actually watch today's video, because it's going to be uploaded extremely late in the night, and I can imagine we were all put through the ringer in what was an intensely fought, battling performance that genuinely was the Google definition of a grey hair turner, lads. I'm clinging on for dear life right now. Look at the greys just coming out everywhere right now. I need a wee bit of help. Michael Beale, no all these heart attack a second 3-2s, but you know what? Putting my personal grievances and all that to one side, that is a game that again we wouldn't have won previously, people. It's a game that we've continued to throw points away if you look at the last 12 months of our league season. So the fact that we have yet again went to another difficult venue, another difficult place against another difficult side and came away with all 3 points, for me, call me a Beale fanboy if you want, says we have well and truly made the right decision with this laddie, and his record so far and the impact so far both on and off the park is there to be seen. Now, in saying that, people, and giving credit to the manager, that doesn't mean that it was a beautiful masterclass for the man himself, where it came out here and we played a Mona Lisa-esque performance, if you want. In fact, it had me want to be Van Gogh, but instead of cutting the old ear off people, I wanted to take Baith the eyes out for large majority of that game. But again, I have to sit back and say and reflect on, look at how we're able to roll the sleeves up, battle, grind and fight. That wasn't there for a very long time. So again, it's one of these ones. It's ugly, aye, but it's 3 points, and at the end of the day, that is what we've been lacking on picking up. That is what's cost us so many points in the league. That is what's cost us a league title last season, especially being in front. So I'm not going to be overly critical, despite me obviously breaking the game down fairly, people. So aye, it was your classic ugly performance, but 3 points is 3 points, and I'll sleep like this tonight because of it. And I think a lot of what I've talked about so far, and because of the game went the way it did, was down to the way that Kilmarnock actually approached and played this game. Listen, I've been extremely critical of Kilmarnock over the years, playing the most anti-football, ruining what could be a game of football, making it putrid, probably playing its part in why no one will want to pay extra money to watch this league because of the standard that they've played it. But that wasn't the case that we played today. This Kilmarnock side came at it, and I think until about the 62nd minute of this game, they had almost matched us in terms of shots on target, and again, a lot of chances they created in the game, especially in that first half. So give a wee bit of shout out to the opposition for making it difficult, because it can be really easy just to always try and put it for one way, but for breaking the game down fairly, it takes two to tango, and the one that turned up Kilmarnock in terms of the day actually well and truly fancied it. Now, normally in terms of these videos, and especially after a win, I'll pick an individual who's really impressed me for the game. I'll do a line or two, you know, verbally and everything like that, and then we move on to the actual game recap. But I can't really do that today because it was so ugly. So I think we're just going to get into it and just see where this video ends up taking us, because I praised us, if you remember, in the semi-final win over Aberdeen, for saying it's the best 15 minutes, opening 15 minutes of a game we've seen for Rangers in a long time. Well, now it's time for the yang of that yang, people, because I've got to say, the opening 10 minutes of this game was the single worst 10 minutes I've seen us play in a long time. We just looked nowhere near it, and Kilmarnock, like we talked about yesterday, started the game off like a team that had really felt an injustice given what happened to them in the semi-final, not getting that clear penalty. They came out angry, they came out mean, they came out looking to make a point. They started up here, whilst we were well and truly down here in terms of intensity and actually playing the football, and it was shown in the opening 10 minutes as Kilmarnock won themselves an early corner in the 5th minute, and it gets whipped in. John McLaughlin's up there doing star jumps and flapping nowhere near it, and Ash Taylor thankfully hits it wide, and I'm thinking to myself, by God, have we well and truly got away with that, as my squeaky chair is squeaking again, people. But maybe it's a sign of where we're actually going, because 60 seconds after, I'm sitting saying, wow, we well and truly got away with that, yeah, and let's turn up new Rangers. Tavernier is just on a different planet at the minute, as he just gifts the ball away. It ends up being another corner kick, and we repeat the exact same mistake from the previous set piece, nearly to a T. The guy gets a free header, and the goalie is just out there throwing shapes, man. I just didn't get it. It's horrendous. I suppose from a Kilmarnock point of view, you'll say it's a commanding header, never flat, and you're fair right to say that. But again, I have to look at it from the Rangers' perspective, because that's obviously how I see the game. And I'm just looking at my defence saying, what is going on? And what is the keeper doing? And no, I never meant that, but it felt right, and it had to be said. And, you know, not to be like overly critical or bring the mood down or anything like that, but I again like to look at all this stuff and involve myself, and I just dive right in. See if Robbie McCrory can't get in with the goalkeeping situation and the goalkeeping standard that we've seen, not for the last week, not for the last month, not for the last 6 months, not for the last season, but for the last 12 to 16 months. There is something going on, and maybe he just isn't the guy, people, because if he can't get in the new, then there's something wrong. Just let the laddie go. Now, some people might say, aye, but he's injured right now, right? If he is injured and everything like that, fair enough, but he's not been injured for 16 months. This isn't a new problem we've had, people. It's a lingering one that continually haunts us. And again, I know McLaughlin made a couple nice saves in the game, and we'll talk about that, but I just think this is so needless stress and needlessly putting us behind with a problem. It's so evident to all of us, apart from the ones that can actually make the changes. It's irritating, people, and aye, it was a horrific start for Rangers. Now, one of the few bright sparks that we had during the 45 minutes, which again was overall poor, especially, as I said, the worst 10 minutes that I've seen, was actually Fashion Sakala again. People, he was bright, he was getting involved, he was driving things, he was showing that enthusiasm in the game that no matter what goes wrong, if he scuffs it, if he runs out, you can't stay mad at someone you can see that just gives absolutely everything. Because there's not one part of the game you think, oh, he's down tools, or he can't be. But no, he just gives you what he's good, gives you. And again, what he doesn't give you in some areas, he gives you in a hell of a lot of others. And that's what I see in Sakala. And he was bright. He bodies off one of the fullbacks, ends up winning us a corner kick with a deflected effort. And from that corner, it's a good ball whipped in. Connor goes and gets to the back post. Headers it in, probably does everything right, but it's a very good save for the Kilmarnock goalie, and it gets it cleared, and you're thinking, right, that was close. Is this going to be the turnaround of us starting to do well in the game? And it wasn't really, and to be fair, McLaughlin makes a pretty good save here as Barisic just gets absolutely roasted, unfortunately. Again, I just didn't get why he's trying to show the boy down the line. He's not wanting to go, he's left-footed, he's going to cut in and hit with his left foot every time, so Barisic thinks he's trying to show him down the line. The guy just skips away from Barisic, has a shot that is well saved for McLaughlin down to his right, and you're thinking, Jesus Christ, man, this could be 2 or 3 goals to Kilmarnock. Can we actually wake up now and start to put in some quality? And of course, we go ahead and do, people, and we do score the goals, and we do end up getting the win, and again, that's all that matters. But I just look at the midfield, and this is the problem that I have, right? When you've got Kamara and Lundstrom and a Scotty Arfield in there, again, all players I like individually and I like in a certain role, but they've not got what a Tillman has got. And I know there is so many that shout at me every. Just scroll and look at the comments. You shout at me, you tell me this, you tell me that. But nobody, I think, can look at this game and then look at the previous games and say there's the same amount of creativity, there's the same amount of just forward-thinking passes that gets done. Yes, a Tillman can frustrate the life at you, people, by giving the ball away, trying to be creative, but it's much better than watching brain-numbingly safe possession side to side. And again, when you have a Scotty Arfield and you try and ask him to do the exact same role, which was of course he was asked to do for Tillman, just compare it to there. And again, I'm no being an arse of that to Scotty. We all know I like Scotty as an impact player. He's one of the most impactful players in the league. But when he starts, he's Casper again, people. And I just thought the game passed him by, and the midfield was driving me absolutely crazy in that first half. But we actually managed to bypass them for the goal of the game. The goal, sorry, that got us back in to the game. It's a great long ball out to the channel, and after some good play, Tavernier hits a wonderful little chip pass in behind the defence. And then Sakala here, brilliant movement, absolutely spins his man, leaves him for dead, and then has the final product that he's often doesn't actually have when he gets himself in good positions. But he picks out Morelos brilliantly, and Morelos gets his goal, gets to silence the crowd who was on his back, especially with the way Morelos started this game, giving the ball away. I think the first, was it 5 at the first 6 times he touched the ball, he gave the ball away, including another blind cross the field pass that nearly gave Kilmarnock a counter-attack. But he gets his goal, he gets us back in it. And a wee special shout out to Sakala as well. That's now his 7th goal contribution in 8 games under Michael Beale. The boy is absolutely flying, and it's quite scary to think where he would be if it the laddie. And who would have been saying that 2 months ago? But as I mentioned, people, we never really had too much in that first half, and again the midfield was very infuriating and everything like that. And I said what I said at halftime on social media, and I'll probably repeat it again. I think I've already just said it, but I'd much rather have a Tillman frustrating the life out of us and trying to be creative and giving the ball away, trying to go forward, rather than the grafters, the hard workers, that some people just think that's what we didn't need that in the team all the time, people. We need the star men, we need the quality, we need the Mavericks. Again, they're not doing it 10 times out of 10, because if they were doing it 10 times out of 10, they wouldn't be here, people. You know what I mean? So you have to take the good with the bad, and again, we just had a lot of bad and a lot of safe possession, and that's what we've seen for a very long time. So I was crying out for just a bit of creativity and someone to step up and grab that mantle, with Tillman not being there. And to be fair, in the second half, I thought Ryan Kent done the majority of that hard work with various different levels of success, because he started the second half off with a great turn, great run. It's a 3-on-2 counter-attack, and then he somehow kicks out the park instead of Pickens to Carl, and you're thinking, what? And then the other side, Ken, I believe it's Tavernier that hits one of the best. Now, if it's not Tavernier, correct me in the comment section, but the way I remember it, it's a counter-attack, and Tavernier just hits a volley pass that Kent gets in. He is onside, because obviously they check it and stuff like that. He runs down the left-hand side. He tries to pick out, I believe it's Sakala or anything like that, but it ends up going just behind the laddie. Morelos picks the ball up, and he finds our boy Ryan Kent again, who almost nonchalantly puts it softly in to the corner. It's not usually the type of finish we see, but again, he has these moments and these bursts, and that's what changes a point to 3 points several times throughout the season. And it's a great goal for Kent, who I believe has now scored more goals under Michael Beale than he did under Gio. It's very, very close. And speaking of Ryan Kent, by the way, because we all know I like to speak about the lad and give him praise and everything, I'll try and keep it short, because there's one question on my mind tonight, because I see him again being such a focal point in the Michael Beale team, influencing games, now adding more goals to his game. And there's one question gone round in the noggin, right? And it's not whether or not he'll be given a new contract or whether or not he'll sign a new contract. It's genuinely, is Ryan Kent the greatest golf of all time? Now, I know what you're thinking, people, right? Bully Maguire, Mona the Vampire, they're up there, right? Especially when she shows you her fangs, but you break into it. I think now with his performances, he's not only broken into top 5 territory, where you got Richmond for the IT crowd and that golf lassie that sang Bring Me to Life. I just think now he's pushing into the top 3 bracket, and he arguably could be number 1 the way he approaches the game, plays the game, both on and off the park. The fact he's got monster going through the veins. I just want to ask your opinion, genuine thoughts down in the comment section below. Is Ryan Kent the greatest golf of all time? So once again, people, you've got to praise the mentality and the ability to battle in, and the fact that we didn't throw these points away, battling ourselves back from 1-0 behind to take the 2-1 lead, and then you're thinking, just keep adding to it, keep this up. And if I'm honest, we were going to do that whether or not the next incident happened, because again, pressure causes players to panic, and I think this is one of these cases with Armstrong, who I actually think's a pretty decent footballer. If I'm honest with you, he's dangerous, he has some good moments, but this is obviously just the boys lost his head. I doubt even the biggest moonhowler will complain at this elbow, but it's kind of a long ball. Barisic actually does pretty well defensively here, actually gets himself in a position, knocks it over him, and then Armstrong just lifts it, and it's obviously an intentional lift to the face. It's an elbow, and he gets his second yellow card, because lifting your arm like that in a game, especially now that VAR is there, is crazy, right? But see, doing it whilst you're already on a yellow card with a referee who's card happy and handing out yellow cards like it's the Oprah Winfrey show, and folk are getting watches, people, you know what I mean, is insanity. So he was begging for trouble, he was begging to get sent off, and he did via the second yellow card. But if I'm honest, I think the referee's been pretty lenient on him, because it probably should have been a straight red card, and that's how I feel about that. So obviously we're down, Kilmarnock's down to 10 men. We've got to take advantage of that, but again, I feel like we were always going to do that anyway, because the game had well and truly went in the scale, and we were creating chance after chance after chance. We just weren't putting it away. And again, Morelos has another moment versus Kilmarnock, which you will obviously appreciate, because he was getting it tight for the crowd. And the way this goal actually unfolds is down the left hand side. Barisic whips the ball. I think there is a slight deflection on the cross, or maybe I'm being overly critical on the laddie, but I think there's a slight deflection. It puts it up in the air, but to be fair, it's a wonderful header for Alfredo Morelos. That puts us 3-1 up. That really should be it. Morelos is on for a hat-trick, and Barisic gets his 9th assist of the season, which I think is an impressive total. It is, people, But at the same time, I also think it tells you the story that you can't always judge a book by its cover or judge a book by its stats. And I'm looking at the Cantwells and the Whitakers, who people's been frustrated with by looking at their stats, saying, look at their stats. Well, Barisic has 9 assists. Would you say he's had a good season? And again, I'm not being overly critical here or being harsh, but would you? I don't know, people, and it doesn't ever tell you the full story. My favourite thing about the goal as well, by the way, isn't it the fact that the header was great or the cross was great? It was actually the fact that the ball went to Glenn Kamara. Glenn Kamara fake shotted it, right? And the defender boat it, people. The defender thought Kamara was shooting it. I'm not joking, this happened in the game. He fake shotted it, and the defender thought Kamara was getting... Honestly, man, I'd find that boy's wages, because he's not looked at the tape at all, people. He's not understanding the game situation here. Kamara's only hit 3 shots in his life. 2 of them was against St Johnstone, and the other was against Leipzig. He's no shot since. So, aye, that's my favourite part of that entire goal, despite the fact the header went in. Aye, we end up taking the lead 3-1. It should well and truly be game over, but it's never ever that easy supporting this football club, and that's despite Morelos nearly having maybe the most Morelos goal I've seen in a long time, as he picks the ball at the edge in the box, and it's just, it's old classic, you know what I mean, the Morelos that we know and we used to absolutely adore to the heavens, where he's just bodying people, shoves one out the way, shoves the other one out the way, shoves the forward and hits it with his left foot. And to be fair to the Kilmarnock goalie, it's another very, very good save. And that was the last incident for Alfredo Morelos to be involved in. He gets substituted off. I imagine the yellow card played its part in that as well, which was a joke, by the way, if I'm going back to that incident. I can see maybe one of the other ones was being a yellow card when he was like shoving and all that stuff, but he's not touched the boy when he did get booked. But that's the Kevin Clancy that we all know. And with that substitution, we bring on Tillman and play him in behind Fashion Sakala. We're just trying to see the game out there. James Sands ends up coming on the park, and I just got nervy all of a sudden. And what's frustrating, even seeing it from a Rangers fans, knowing that we ended up winning the game, is just how self-inflicted this nonsense actually is, because we know all Kilmarnock want are set pieces. We even talked about it yesterday, and again, I'm an idiot, people. That is their bread and butter. That is what they do. Win aerial duels and attack for set pieces. We just keep giving it. Scotty was quite rash with a lot of silly challenges, and you think an experienced player needs to be smarter. Stop barging into the back. Players are just going to flop. You're giving them exactly what they want. But even in saying that, you can't be overly critical to one person here, because it's just the same type of defending that we've seen all season, if we're honest. It starts with a ball going into the mixer. Arfield's poor here with the header away, just kind of headers it up rather than out. But again, there's still 60 seconds between there and when the ball goes in. It goes all the way out to Kyle Lafferty on the outside. He ends up passing it back in to here. We end up winning it back with James Sands at the edge of the box, who just gifts the ball away straight away to the opposition. Now, to be fair, is he fouled here? I think he might be, so I think this is pretty harsh, but again, it maybe would have flagged up in VR if he was fouled. So maybe I'm wrong on that. I'll hold my hands up and say maybe he's just kicked it straight to the opposition. But I just think he's not doing that. You know what I mean? I know he's played poorly the last couple of times, but he's not kicking it straight to the opposition. I think there might have been a wee nick or something there. Maybe I'm just being overly nice to the laddie. But we gift it straight to the opposition again. The ball comes in. I don't know where Barisic is, people. He's absolutely all over the shop. The boy headers it down, and then it's a volley that goes in the top corner-ish. Kilmarnock fan, great goal, you'll love it. Rangers fan, terrible defending, and can a goalie do better there? I don't know, people. Maybe I'm just getting crabby at my older age, and maybe I've got such a high standard because I've seen Alan McGregor, prime McGregor, for so damn long. Maybe this is what normal goalkeeping, normal teams with normal goalies actually have, people. These goals conceded. But I just think back sometimes like, is McGregor of old saving that? I think so, people. But aye, it's now 3-2 from a position of being completely in control of it. 3-1 up against 10 men, seeing the game out to 3-2 with 8 minutes to go. Sorry, and you're going, how have we done this? But that is the Rangers show, people. But I want to give a wee couple credits here, and a special little shout, because I think it backs up what I was mentioning earlier regarding Tillman. Tillman came on with about 10 minutes to go, and Tillman created more chances than anyone else in the park. He was on the park for 30 minutes. That's including the last 3 minutes injury time. He out-created everyone. Again, people can say, oh, well, he was against 10 men. Well, a hell of a lot of other people was against 10 men. And again, he only played 13 minutes. He still had 2 centre-backs. He still had people riding, oh yeah, I'm trying to pull him to the ground. And he was brilliant. One of them, they pass it to his feet and he just 360s his way through the defence, sets up Arfield who dillies and dallies and gets the ball took off him. And then another time where he's got the back to the defender again, the ball comes in his feet and he just scoops it with a back heel to put Sands inside the box. But to be fair, it's actually a pretty good slide challenge. And then Tillman should actually score himself with a trademark now, despite the fact they've only been 20 years old, which is scary to say this, but a trademark late run into the box. He gets on the ball, he hits it hard and low like your tail today, but it's another good save for the actual goalkeeper. And aye, people, because we're not taking these chances and because the goalie's having a world day, there's always these nippy moments, and we nearly got punished for a goal for 198 yards out as Lafferty hits a volley, and I'm thinking, well, this is nothing, but somehow McLaughlin gets there and makes a diving save at it. If I've ever seen the definition of a camera save, it's that one right there. But even that had me like, that's for at least 30 yards out and it's soft. Why are we making that look like such a big deal? But thankfully we weren't punished. Thankfully we got the 3 points, and thankfully we got over the line. And that was it, people. It was a dramatic, battling type performance, but that's everything we wanted to see for the team. When it wasn't gone right, what was the one thing we kept asking for? Show a bit of heart, show a bit of desire, and battle and fight. That's what Beales brought to this Rangers team. No matter who's been selected, they've all gave everything, and that's all you can really ask for. And again, we won the game, so I'm going to go and sleep happy, people. Kilmarnock away has always been a difficult fixture, so to pick up 3 points, I will sleep very, very easy tonight. And aye, if you're looking at man of the matches, I think Morelos got the man of the match because of the 2 goals, and to be fair, he did score the 2 goals that won us the game, so I can understand why. But I don't know, I think it's difficult to pick an overall man of the match because I thought there was so much frustration in the actual game itself. Maybe a Connor Goldson because of some of the balls, but again, he was beating the air, but he's getting asked to do that zonal thing that I absolutely hate, which doesn't make any sense to me. It's a tough one, so I'll be very interested to see who you think was your man of the match. I'll probably just give it to Morelos because of the 2 goals. Maybe Ryan Kent with the way he grabbed the scruff of the neck of the game and actually got us further line. That could be a decent shout, but I'll be interested to see what you're thinking down in the comment section below. And that is it, people. What about you? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down there in the old comment section below. And as always, I'll be seeing you very, very, very soon with some transfer news. Until then, take care of yourselves, everyone. All the best and bye.